Now, I will tell you the story of a special character named Rita. You already know her, but she comes from a different world called Toca Boca. But one day, she accidentally found herself in the world of Avatar World. Now, I will tell you her story. In the world of Toca Boca, there lived a girl named Rita. She was curious and always ready to explore her amazing world. One day, Rita set out for a walk through the beautiful meadows and forests of Toca Boca, enjoying the beauty of nature and the cheerful sounds that surrounded her. During her journey, Rita accidentally turned the wrong way and wandered into the depths of a mysterious forest. She felt that something was not right, and overcome with excitement, she lost consciousness. When Rita came to, she found herself in a completely new world, which turned out to be Avatar World. She was completely overwhelmed and couldn't understand how she ended up there. Suddenly, a woman named Daisy emerged from the trees. She was friendly and explained to Rita that they were in Avatar World. Rita was amazed and fascinated by this new world. Daisy told her about the various amazing places in Avatar World and showed her its beautiful sights. Rita was thrilled with all the encounters and adventures she experienced in this unusual world. But suddenly, during their stroll, a mysterious man with magical abilities approached them. It turned out that this man was the forest guardian and had transported Rita to Avatar World because it was his forest, and he didn't take kindly to unexpected guests, but he offered her the chance to return to the world of Toca Boca, understanding that it was not her native world and he had acted harshly. However, Rita declined this offer. She had fallen in love with Avatar World and its captivating atmosphere. She decided to stay here to continue exploring this magical world, meeting new friends, and immersing herself in the adventures that awaited her. And so, Rita made the decision to stay in Avatar World, to enjoy its wonders and live her extraordinary story in this magical realm. Now, I will tell you the story of a special character named Nari. She was fascinated by magic in her world, Toca Boca. But one day, she accidentally found herself in the world of Avatar World. Now, I will tell you her story. In the world of Toca Boca, there lived a girl named Nari. She was passionate about magic and wanted to learn how to wield it. She studied ancient books and experimented with ingredients. During one of her experiments, Nari mixed up the ingredients and directed her magical energy in an unknown direction. Suddenly, Nari found herself in a completely new world, Avatar World. Confused and a little scared, Nari decided to explore this new world. During her adventures, she met a guy named Mike. Nari told him her amazing story of how she accidentally ended up in Avatar World from the world of Toca Boca. Mike, in turn, believed her because his grandmother was a witch, and he believed in the existence of magic. Mike offered to help Nari return to her world, but Nari decided that before that, they could perform a ritual she had long wanted to do, a ritual that would allow her to fly. Mike was thrilled at the opportunity to help his new friend, and they set off on a journey through Avatar World to gather all the necessary ingredients for the ritual. During their adventures, they encountered different creatures and collected rare plants and artifacts needed for the successful completion of the ritual. In the end, Nari and Mike performed the ritual together, combining their powers and magical energy. Magic came alive around them, and Nari suddenly felt her body lifting into the air. The ritual was successful, and Nari realized it was time to return to her world. With a heavy heart, Nari said goodbye to Mike, grateful for his help and friendship, and used her magical power to return to Toca Boca. She understood that although they lived in different worlds, their friendship would always be strong and special. Thus, Nari and Mike became friends who connected two different worlds through their shared adventurous story. And even though their paths diverged, they would always remember their encounters and how magic brought them together. Now, I will tell you a story about a charming heroine named Nancy. She works as a saleswoman in a bakery. Once, something amazing happened to her. Now I will tell you the story. Nancy was an ordinary woman who worked as a salesperson in a small bakery in the town of Avatar World. Her buns were famous for their delicious taste and freshness, so she always had many customers. But over time, Nancy started to feel tired of the daily routine. Every day was similar to the previous one, and she began to long for something special in her life. However, something amazing happened during her usual workday. When Nancy noticed that the buns were disappearing from the counter, she thought she was imagining things. But the feeling that something was off didn't leave her. Deciding to investigate, she stayed after work and saw something that looked like a person stealing her goods. And to her surprise, it turned out to be a gnome. The gnome, named Tommy, told Nancy his story. He was an orphan and was simply traveling through Avatar World when he noticed Nancy's shop. He was incredibly attracted to the delicious buns she made and couldn't resist the temptation to steal a couple. Tommy felt a strong sense of shame for his actions, but he simply couldn't resist the temptation. Instead of blaming the gnome or calling the police, Nancy felt sympathy for him. time. She realized that Tommy needed help and kindness because he had no parents or home. Instead of punishing him, she offered him a job at her bakery. Nancy saw potential in Tommy and decided to give him a chance to change his life. Tommy agreed to Nancy's offer and they started working together. Tommy turned out to be not only a talented thief but also a skilled baker. With each passing day, he improved his skills and added his own recipes to the bakery's assortment. His buns were simply delightful, and word quickly spread throughout the town. The fame of Nancy's store and her heroic act spread far beyond the boundaries of Avatar World. People from other cities came to try the magical buns baked by this unparalleled team, Nancy and Tommy. The store became even more popular, and it was visited not only by locals but also by tourists. Nancy and Tommy turned their bakery into a true landmark of the city. Now I will tell you a story about a little girl named Evelyn. You can find her in a ballet school where she diligently trains. Once something amazing happened to her. Now I will tell you the story. Evelyn was a passionate and talented girl who dreamed of becoming a famous ballerina. She worked hard, training at the ballet school, striving to improve her skills and overcome all the challenges in her path. Her friend Mike was also a talented dancer and supported Evelyn in all her endeavors. One day, their school announced a competition that gave a unique opportunity to perform at the most prestigious dance competition in the world. It was a great honor and a chance for young dancers to showcase their talent to a global audience. Evelyn and Mike decided to participate in the competition. They trained intensively, choreographing complex routines and improving their techniques. Evelyn was full of enthusiasm and dreamed of winning and showing everyone her unique passion for dance. The day of the competition arrived, and the young dancers took the stage in front of an enthusiastic audience. Evelyn and Mike performed their breathtaking routines, but when it came time to announce the winner, it turned out that Evelyn had lost. She was deeply disappointed, but instead of feeling envy or bitterness, she was genuinely happy for her friend. Mike was declared the winner of the competition, but instead of accepting the award, he approached Evelyn and gave her the victory. He saw immense potential in her and knew that she deserved the win more than anyone else. It was a truly touching and generous gesture from Mike. Evelyn was amazed by her friend's kindness and support. She accepted his offer and performed at the prestigious Avatar World competition. Her performance was captivating, emotional, and full of energy. She embodied her passion and talent in every movement, winning the hearts of the audience. At the end of the competition, Evelyn was announced as the winner. She gained fame and recognition in the world of dance, and her future became bright and promising. But instead of pride in her victory, she decided to give her trophy to Mike. She acknowledged that without his belief in her and support, she wouldn't have been able to achieve such success. She expressed her deep gratitude and appreciation to him for seeing her potential and helping her fulfill her dream. Now I will tell you the story of an interesting guy named Chris. He works as a cashier in a beauty salon. But Chris is not an ordinary character, as one day he experienced an extraordinary story. Now I will tell you about it. Chris was an ordinary guy working as a cashier in a beauty salon. Every day he dreamed of having his own business to fulfill his creative and entrepreneurial ideas. He often pondered the possibilities that could open up for him if he had enough resources and means. One day, while Chris was at work, he discovered an old bottle. At first, he didn't think much of it, considering it just an interesting find. But when he opened the bottle, a genie appeared before him. The genie explained that he was an ancient spirit who granted wishes to the inhabitants of the Avatar world and was now ready to fulfill Chris's wishes. Chris was amazed and fascinated by this extraordinary event. He had never encountered magical creatures before and had never believed in fairy tales, but here stood living proof that miracles could happen. With excitement and trepidation, Chris began to contemplate his wishes. Firstly, he asked for good health for himself and his loved ones. Being healthy was the most important thing to him because without health, it would be impossible to achieve his other goals and dreams. Secondly, he wished for financial support to open his own store. Chris had always dreamed of offering unique products and services to his customers and creating a place where people could enjoy beauty and comfort. He saw it as an opportunity to benefit others while developing professionally and financially. However, coming up with a third wish was the most challenging for Chris. He deliberated for a long time and ultimately decided to do a good deed and set the genie free. He felt that it was the only right decision since the genie had been a benefactor, and Chris wanted to be grateful and generous in return. When Chris expressed his third wish, the genie was freed from his bonds and disappeared, leaving behind a grateful and inspired heart in Chris. With his wishes fulfilled, Chris embarked on a new chapter in his life. He used the financial support he received from the genie and opened his own clothing store. His business thrived, and he felt happy and fulfilled.